We train to have mastery of our own mind.
Welcome to the Self-Care Self-Massage Workshop. Let's explore some of the tools we use for this work of self-massage and trigger point therapy. We'll start on the hands and knees. Let's come down to the earth. Prop up with the knees under the hips and the hands under the shoulders, and then tent your fingers and then rock a little forward and a little back. Little forward and a little back, and feel the digits, the final distal part of your fingers, that last digit. Feel that strengthening and keep going. Exhale back, inhale forward, and get in touch with the relationship of the connective tissue and the idea of healthy tension in your body. Do a few more. And then please bring your knees together, feet together, and sit on your heels and lift the torso. And let's take a look. Bring all of the fingers together. And then when the fingers come tightly together, they can form a tool that's very useful. And you can take that right hand under the left side of the rib cage and foray around there. That's another tool that I'll reference, which is your fingers coming together to work certain points. I want you to feel your thumb, press your thumb out. Your thumb is another tool that will run through and string through certain muscles, okay? Your hand is kneading. This type of stroke is called Petrissage, which is a kneading deep work. And what we're doing with the work is creating an environment in the body for gas exchange so that the blood can deliver nutrients and oxygen and clear out the waste products of respiration like uric acid, lactic acid, and ammonia. So just shake your hands out now, okay? There's another wonderful tool called the Olecranon Process. Take your right arm and bend your elbow in medially towards the face or chest, and then feel the pointiest part of your elbow. Feel that with your left hand. That tool is a fantastic, very powerful, sharp point. It can become over time as sensitive as one's thumb or index finger. And you'll see later that we'll use the props to work along the arch of the foot with this very powerful, weighty tool. So those are your basic tools for now. We're going to begin by, the body's already warm from Nandini's practice. The tissues, the soil has been tilled, so we're ready to now exercise the energy of release. And I want to begin by working on the parts of the body that hold fear. So I'm going to demonstrate 3 parts of the body that we're going to work, and watch my body in motion. If I were an animal running away from danger, I would come into flexion. So everything would go like this to prepare to sprint. My hips would flex, and deep in the hip is the psoas and iliopsoas. That will tense, and this stores fear. Deep in the armpit, the subscapularis, which rotates the arm medially and pumps the arms for running, that would fire in fear. And to the jaw, the T temporomandibular area, and the SCM, Sternocleidomastoid, this giant muscle on each side of the neck, that tenses up. So we've been looking at the news quite a bit, and we've been bombarded with images and ideas of projecting into an uncertain future, and all of our bodies at this time of quarantine are storing a little bit of fear. So we want to expunge that from the body and wring it out with our own hands. So we're going to begin with 2 crucial parts today. I want to really warm up your ankle joint and your wrist joint and your shoulder joint. So Nandini is going to sit with straight legs like she's going to do Paschimottanasana, and she'll start in a Dandasana posture. So this is very important because one day we were apes and we stood up. We got 30 degrees more extension out of the ankle and hip so that we can stand up and evolve ourselves to the point where we are today. So inhale, point your feet strongly, and exhale, flex. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Keep going. Inhale, point. exhale, flex. Continue to do this. This is going to be where we connect to the earth with the skeleton, and I need heat in this area. Keep going. Inhale, pointing. Exhale, flex. Continue to do this till you bring really big heat to all of that white fiber and connective tissue around your ankle. This is going to lift energy up to the medial aspect of the body, which is going to help us with going into the hip shortly. So keep going a few more cycles here. Excellent. Linking your breath is going to be important. Nandini taught Ujjayi breathing in her practice. So we're going to use breath and intention with trigger point work to consciously release trapped energy, namely the energy of fear, out of the body. Good. Now inhale, flex, and stay there. Good. And then reach your arms forward. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. A few more times. Beautiful. Okay, and now release your hands back towards Dandasana and go ahead and take that prop now. It can be a cushion from the couch, and remember, if your cushion is nice, I asked you to bring a towel for covering that cushion. So use a prop. This is going to help us access this muscle in the hip, and I just want to show you how to find this muscle. I'm going to invite Nandini to lean back a touch. If she wants to use the prop, she can. And just lean back lightly, bring your hands here to support you. Now, she's going to point the right foot. Now, when she lifts that leg, something's going to pop here, and it's going to feel like a cable lifting. So drop, and I'm going to have her lift again. Do you feel that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Make a note of that, and then put your right thumb in that area, okay? And then lift again. And once you have it, stay there. Good. Release. And then I'm going to put a prop under her knees. Okay. Good. And she's found the muscle by lifting with a straight leg. So I want you to find that psoas, which is a tension and it's deep. And then start on each exhale to work deeper down into there. And here's where I need you for Ujjayi breathing, 8 rounds. Okay, and this kind of action, we're going to work deeper on each exhale. The exhale allows you to go deeper into the body. Now keep working as I guide you. This can be very intense. This is where we hide the deeper emotions. This is where the trauma is in the body. It's recorded in the body. So as things rise, I need you to consciously breathe. You're already established in Ujjayi breathing. It's an even inhale and an even exhale. And it's becoming intimate with ourselves here. So she's just inviting the energy of release at the core of her being. Take 3 more breaths. Okay. Wonderful. You can release slowly the hand from that side. We may go back there a little later. Now, I want you to hike your shorts up on that right side, and there's a muscle that's connected where the energy of the knee travels through the hip. This is called Rectus Femoris, and we're going to use a different stroke than the stroke we just used. We used friction on the psoas. We're going to do Effleurage, which is a flush of the Rectus Femoris, and we're inviting, with our intention, the energy we just unlocked in the hip. We're going to flush that, and here's where you're invited to use a little bit of the coconut oil. So first you want to just lubricate the area and get it wet. And the tool we're going to use is our thumbs. The digits we're going to use are the thumbs. So you hike your short up and you go all the way to that hip where the femur, your thigh bone, is in the acetabulum, and you're going to go up and down. Exhale, down, inhale, up. Take a few really good strokes here, inviting the energy to leave the body, and you may even use your imagination. Look at these type of strokes and flush out. Inhale, and then exhale. Flush it out. You're using your intention to become free of what the body is holding, and the breath is guiding you, and your thumb, you're working straight down the center of the thigh, right out of the hip. So we'll take a few more strokes like this. This is called Effleurage, and the kneading is called Petrissage. So you'll get a little vocabulary of a licensed massage therapist today. And you're, again, inviting things to flush away. We're trying to release today. We're trying to open and release. And as things come up, we use our breath to ground into it. We feel it fully, and then we're allowing it to pass. If we don't allow the energy to pass, it implodes inside of us, and it can create a sort of violence against ourselves or others. And we've all been there. So this is very deep form of self-care, deep sense of intimacy and acceptance with our body, how it is today. Nandini will take a few more strokes of this effleurage, encouraging the exit. Very good. And just bring your hands up and shake them out. They're going to get a little bit of a workout, but we will take care of the hands soon. Okay? And you may lean back, and let's get into the idea of, no, not much. Put your hands down. We want to find that muscle again. So with a straight left leg, straighten your left leg. And when you lift it a little bit, you feel the pop right in. So I'll show you where it is. It's in between your navel and your hip. So it's not quite in the hip, it's up and in, and it's going towards the navel. So she's going to take her thumb and then release this leg. Once she's found it, you have to find it with a straight leg, lift it lightly, and then the muscle will pop. There you go. Mm-hmm. And then consciously start the digging. The digging is a metaphor, okay? We've all got our own dig. We're all digging for something. We all have a unique karma, a unique reason for taking our birth. And we have things that we're digging and extracting. Residues of the past are written in this body. And I felt that on the first half of this workshop. So we're really going, the soil has been tilled, your body is warm. And you're not in a 70-person yoga class, you're not being judged, you're in the privacy of your own home. So do your dig and find that listening. Start to listen to the point. For each of us, a trigger point is an accumulated congestion of waste, trapped energy, and it's different for everyone. These points are a little different, so find your space by sort of digging around in the core of your being. You can see here, this is the most medial aspect of a human. If you look at Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, Nandini is in the center of her being, and she's just exploring and extracting. And again, this is where the greatest amount of fear is held, because this is the muscle that you use to run away. You run away from things. And we have evolved over time to respond to fear because it's a survival mechanism. Fear is a fitness marker. If an animal can recognize fear in its environment, it can stay alive long enough to reproduce. And this is how we've evolved. But at this time, we're transcending this energy because we don't have to rely on that circuit. We can develop the circuit of compassion and unity. So do a few more breaths in there, Ujjayi pranayama, and sort of explore the space. Explore the space. Wonderful. You want to come out slowly. Don't pop your hand out of there. Exhale, release the thumb slowly. And then hike up your shorts. Hike up them shorts. Hike up them shorts. Okay. And the muscle I want to show you that you're looking for is called Rectus Femoris. It crosses the knee joint and the hip, and it runs right through. So it is a fear muscle. It is going to tense up during fear. And you're doing now Effleurage. You're going to inhale. And you can grease yourself up if you need to here. Some of you are already pretty greasy. It's okay. I'm one of those oily guys. Okay, inhale and then exhale. You're inviting now your concentration on releasing fear from the body. And you can get dramatic and theatrical like I am here. I'm like, get out. Okay, mentally I'm like, you know, clearing. You can get a little theatrical with your hands. Okay, you're inviting cleanliness, purity, and compassion. And it's also an exploration of one's own anatomy and how the body works. These guys are constantly working. They are decelerators for when we go forward. And right now they're slack and the acids are leaving the body. This work is creating, again, an environment for gas exchange, taking waste away and providing nutrients. The tissue is not working hard, so it's not producing waste. So this is a wonderful flush. We're going to stop with that motion, and Nandini will now turn around and face the other side of the mat. And I want to invite you to lay on your back here. This is where we're going. We're going to take this tool, our thumb, and work a muscle. Watch where it's going to work. We're going to take the thumb or the fingers, and we're going to work deep in our armpit, the subscapularis. So it's deep in here, and the way to get into this muscle is to go slowly with each exhale, deeper. You may not need any of the coconut oil for this one. You're going to take the right hand and put the fingers together. Let's start with the fingers, and we're going to use the fingers to point in. We're going to bend the left arm to 90 degrees, and we're going to reach in to the center of the armpit. And on the exhale, we're going to go in. Okay, can be intense. And then exhale. This is called friction. She's going to inhale, lower the arm, and then she's going to exhale, bring it up. This is the subscapularis, a medial rotator of the arm. I want you guys to do 8 concentrated strokes here. And on each exhale, the pointer, the right hand, is going deeper. And then you can rotate a few times up and down. The left arm is going up and down as you foray into the armpit. And whatever rises, just use your breath. On the next exhale, let's keep the arm down and then extend it to the side. Great. And now I give you 4 or 5 more breaths to explore that space. Again, guys, this can be a very emotional process. It's okay if it's not emotional, but we're going again right into the energy of fear. And these points are where these muscles, it holds that fight or flight response of the sympathetic nervous system. Feel the earth holding you. There's no resistance to gravity here. And your own breath is a guide, your own breath is a teacher. One more deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Start to exhale slowly from the depth you've achieved and shake that out. Invite the energy you've unlocked to move away from your body. Let's start the other side with the right arm at 90 degrees and use your tool. Bring your fingers together These three fingers pushing together and supported form a wonderful tool for the fossa of the subscapularis. It dips. So the fossa of the scapula is what holds the subscapularis. And then bend your elbow and start right there in the center of the pit. And on your exhale, start to go deeper till you find the subscapularis. It's very sensitive. And then inhale, bring your arm down. It's at 90 degrees. And exhale, rotate up. You'll feel it go deeper. This is called friction. And keep going with this up and down. And this friction is allowing blood to come into that space. And again, guys, the blood is the garbage bin. It is cleaning the trash, the waste, and healing the area by bringing nutrients and oxygen. So a few rotations up and down. And on your next exhale, you can keep the right arm down and just extend the arm to the side. And I want to invite you for about 5 breaths to use each exhale to continue to go into that space at your desired intensity. You don't have to overdo it because, again, a lot can arise. A lot can arise. So. Beautiful. A few more, 2 more breaths, we'll say. Okay, you're going to take 1 more deep breath in. And remember, you don't rush out of here. You exit because you're very deep in the center of your own being. You're going to come out slowly, and you're going to take that left arm and you're going to shake out whatever you've discovered. You're going to invite it to leave. And just take a little rest there. And maybe if you're sitting down, look up to me really quick. The 2 muscles we're going to work now are called the Sternocleidomastoid. They are going to be found in the same way. They're on it, one on the right side, one on the left side. It's an anterior neck muscle, and it runs from the front to the back, and it tenses during fear. And the way to find this muscle, I'll show you. I'll put a bolster under Nandini's knees so her back is relaxed. Stretch her legs out. Wonderful. And the easy way to find this muscle is just like when we flexed, when we extended with a straight leg, the hip. All you have to do is lift your head off the earth for a second and take your right hand and catch that big cord of a muscle with your thumb and your fingers. This is the claw, and you hold it, and then release your head down. And from the clavicle, it's from the front body, from that chest bone that runs to the side, the clavicle. This is called Petrissage. So you start to knead that tissue from the lower part, and it's going to go from the front of your body by the chest slowly to up to the back of the head at the occipital ridge. It's a front to back muscle. So I want you to knead the muscle. Please do not squeeze it for a long time because the carotid arteries run into the skull here, and you don't want to cut off oxygen to the brain. Instead, you want to do a squeeze and a release motion, a squeeze and release, squeeze and release. It's a kneading called Petrissage. And again, breathe into this area, and it will run from the chest, upper chest, into the back of your head. This is the SCM. I'll give you a few moments here, and if you wish to use the coconut oil, you can. Front to back, front to back. The anterior part is really important for releasing the weight of the skull, which we carry around. This area is close to the thought processes. So this is where we program our nervous system and where we can now slide new ideas into the subtle field of thought, into our subconscious minds. So do a few more. Wunderbar. Release the right hand slowly. You can place it on the body if you wish. And just to find that muscle, guys, again, just get sensitive. It pops. So just lift your head a little bit. Hold it with your right hand. Yeah. And start to knead the muscle. Yeah. So please work from the lower part, which is above the chest, and then go into the back. And do this nice and slow. Do it with sensitivity. This is a deep listening as we tune in to the energy of conscious release. I'll let you do your work for a minute without commentary and explore the space. Explore the space. The key is to not squeeze for long. It's squeeze and release, squeeze and release. That's it. Keep using your breath. This is a process of conscious exploration. This is a process of intimacy with ourselves. Intimacy can be interpreted as into me, I see. So we are looking into our own process of life and what we've held on this journey and what we've accumulated on our story. And we can detach from those ideas, particularly the things we call traumas. We can recode them. Okay, and now release, and then invite that energy to flush out. Shake that arm out. Okay, and Nandini will bend one knee in and squeeze the knee with her hands. Then she'll bend the next knee in and squeeze the knees as she lowers the back. Okay. And this is a wonderful, you want to watch out for your jewelry and your hair. She's going to rock, not straight on the spine. She's going to massage the erector spinae group. There's 3 muscles on the left, 3 on the right. When she holds her knees, we're going to do 20 rockings up and down. She's going to be slightly rocking to the left and slightly rocking to the left. She's not slamming the vertebra into the earth. The spinous process will be spared, and she's rocking up and down, self-massaging the low back and the erector spinae group. You guys can do this now and count mentally to 20 times up and down, and your rockings increase. The longer, closer you get to 20, the more higher you rock, until the 20th time you rock up and you sit up nice and straight. Okay, we'll face forward, come together and face forward. And we'll begin now some work that's more relaxed. You can sit on a prop. I know some of you have some back pain, and so sitting up on the prop tilts the pelvis, and it brings a relaxed energy to the body. And what we'll work with now is a point on the extensor side of the arm and a point on the flexor side of the arm. And the tool we're using is our thumb. So Nandini will reach her left arm across the body, and I want to show you how to find this muscle. If you make a strong fist, you'll see an indentation between the extensor, your tennis backhand side of the arm, and you can see it's right here. It's right here. She's going to put her thumb in that area, and she's going to, the same way we've been working, to stay consistent on the exhale, she's going to be deeper. Go deeper with each exhale. And this is going to be where you explore a few degrees around till you find the trigger point. It feels like this. It feels like, pay dirt. I've hit that point where there's radiation and release. And once she finds the point, we're going to do this. I'm going to show you. You're going to externally rotate the arm, and then inhale, medially rotate, and exhale, externally rotate. So you can go, when you find the trigger point, inhale, internally rotate, and exhale, externally rotate your palm. The point is a little different for everyone. So she's exploring, and I think she's found the sweet spot. So go a few cycles here, internally rotating on the inhale, externally rotating. And again, it can feel like energy and release is going up and down the entire point. This, my friends, is an example of a trigger point. I'll give you a few breaths to explore the space. It's your body. There's something unique about each body because our muscles sometimes insert a few degrees different on each bone that they articulate. So the trigger points are a little different. Some of us have a longer humerus, some have a shorter humerus, some of us have a longer femur, some of us have a shorter femur. So this affects the origination and insertion of muscles. So a few more cycles. That's intense. Can be a very intense point. Okay? And again, on the next exhale, you're going to release the point slowly. Don't fly out of there. And your hand is helping. Your hand is healing. Just give it a little shake. Good. And then your seat should be comfortable. Bend your right arm and take your left thumb. And now let's explore. I find it by making a fist. And you can see there, it's the tennis backhand. It's the backhand muscle. So when you explore the space till you find your trigger point. You're going to find a point here. Okay? And now we're going to practice. Okay? Inhale, medial rotation. Exhale, externally rotate. You turn the palm out. Inhale, medially rotate the arm. And exhale. That exhale is a chance to sink deeper into the space. Go at your own pace. Explore the body. These are key points. This is very conscious work. On your next exhale, let's exit slowly and just send it away, send it away. Shake it out. Wonderful. Now, this is called the flexor side of the arm, and there's a trigger point on this side. I want to show you where to find it. It's more medial to the Olecranon process. So it's not quite in the center. You're going in and not in the elbow joint. You're underneath it, and it's right in this area. I want you to poke around with your thumb on the inside. This is called flexion on the flexor side. And wait, I'll give you a moment to find the trigger point. Don't push in the joint. It's just below the joint and on the inside. You found it? Yeah. Okay. Once you found it, now we're going to work with the rotation of the radius and ulna again. Take a breath in. And this time it's exhale to the middle. The energy is reversed. Inhale, open. And again, you're invited to go deeper on the exhale, okay? Keep going and keep concentrated on your breath, on Ujjayi breathing. There's a rhythmic flow to what you're doing, but it's very subtle and it's very self-referential because there's a great deal of bio-individuality in our bodies and a great deal of personal karmic journey that is unique to each person's path. We're each here for slightly different levels of release and purification, but we're all headed to the same place because we come from the same source. So what we're seeing is that connection, and the human animal is now transcending competition and tuning into cooperation. That's what's really happening on our planet because we're all on the same vibe right now, and it takes cooperation as a species to survive and move forward. I'll give you another cycle here. Super. Come out slowly and shake the energy out to find the point. It's not in the joint. It's a little below, and it's again the flexor side. This is the flexor side. I want you to poke around with your thumb till you find it. And when you find that point, what it feels like is energy radiates out of that point. So the energy can radiate up and down. And Nandini will play with reversing the breath. The exhale is the internal rotation, and the inhale, she holds the depth. And on the exhale, she can go deeper. If you want total relief, you can prop your arm up so you're not working to support that arm. I put a prop under her left arm, and that gives her some space to really work that thumb in there. A few more cycles. Guys, this is Pet Central. I hope you enjoy dogs, cats, chipmunks. Okay. Get your buns out of here. Get out of here, guys. Okay. Now come out on an exhale. Okay. Come out on the exhale and just shake your hands out for a minute. We'll transition to a very powerful point in shiatsu therapy called lung 1. And first I'm going to show you where this point is. It's from the sternum out to the armpits. It's in the center. This is the clavicle. This bone is the clavicle. So you can see I have my finger at the sternum and my thumb out by the armpit. And lung 1 is under the clavicle right here. You can feel around, guys. This is a very sensitive point. This is very good for fighting COVID-19 and inviting cosmic prana energy to flow into the lungs. This is lung 1. So we're going to take the right thumb and put it right into lung 1. Yeah, whew is correct. So we want to go into this slowly. I also like to use the middle finger here, this tool, which we went over in the beginning with your fingers. So you decide if you want to use the thumb. I enjoy the 3 fingers. There's a beautiful play happening here, which I might have to break up. Okay, you
So cute,
keep
but...
working.
Oh,
Focus on the exhale. And guys, don't do Petrissage right now. First, I want you to go as deep as you possibly can. Okay, and now take a little bit of the oil. And we live in a very medially rotated world. We hold, and just the upper chest, put the oil on the upper part of the chest. And now we use the tool, we use the whole hand here with the fingers tight. And I want you to just go from out to in. The muscle is striated laterally. Do about 10 cycles of medial to lateral with the palm of the hand and the fingers pressed together. This is, guys, this is texting. This is caring for the baby. This is making the food. This is typing. So these muscles are really drawn in for medial rotation. And you'll see the energy you're carving now is inviting external rotation and openness of the chest. So we'll do a few more cycles here. And, you know, this is close to the lungs and the heart. So how does your breath get when you're stressed or when you're listening to the news? You want to unfurl from the process that the media, the story the media is giving us is not healthy for the nerves, and it's not healthy for the whole psychic and subtle body energy. We're cleaning out that message of fear and the alarm bells that go off around the news. We must each straddle the line of being informed and being constantly exposed to a low-grade stress, which damages the immune system. So we don't want to be experiencing stress, okay? And then you can take that and invite it to go release. Wonderful. Let's explore lung 1 on the other side of the body. And I like this tool. Some of you will like the thumb. So I like to touch. Lung 1 again is going to be from the sternum. It's going to be in the middle of the armpit and sternum, under the chest bone, the clavicle. So I've just drawn that line here and gone down, and it's going to vary. You'll find it's very sensitive. Don't dig deep right away. Find it, and then you want to breathe into it. This is, again, going to be very energizing and bring prana to your respiratory system. The breath is life, guys. So really find this point. And if you're having a business call, if you're having a call with your therapist, if you are not sleeping well, this is a point you can work that will allow energy in the respiratory pathway to open up. This is from shiatsu, a very ancient Japanese technique. You know, in India, the rishis were teaching Ayurveda, and in the East, they were teaching Chinese medicine and shiatsu and ways of eating that are harmonious with nature. So find that point, and again, it's going to be a little different for everyone. The breath is your guide as you discover what's there. Again, it's personal. Your exhales release the past. Take a few more cycles of exploration before we enter a different stroke for pec minor. Good. Now take some of that oil if you wish, and we're going to work medial to lateral. So you're going to work from the clavicle with your tool, okay, the pointer tool here, and just go boom all the way out, all the way out. About 10 times, and the openness of the palm allows that energy to run down and out. You're releasing again. This practice we're sharing with you is very simple because it's reductive in the sense that we're not adding anything. Our true nature is our true nature. Our true nature is bliss, it's ecstasy, it's love. It's all the additions, it's all of the fear, it's all of the disappointments, it's all of the loss that is coded in this body. That once we get rid of that, samadhi is natural. Feeling love is natural. We are just habituated to a system that trains us to be fearful. And together we're changing that system now. Super. So now let's have some fun. Let's invite that out. And let's work a flush. So I'm going to invite you to take the grease in your right hand. That might be enough. And just knead the bicep. I'm going to come a little closer to the camera and show you. Okay. Relax that arm down and just knead the bicep. Knead the shoulder. And knead your trapezius on the left side with your right hand. First is the kneading, the Petrissage, and then we'll add in the Effleurage. Okay? And I'm just going to come a little closer here. So you're going to get down. This is a squeeze and release, and you can keep working up and down. And watch when you get to the digits, you can pull and work a lot of friction into your fingers, but release the tension. Don't squeeze the tip of the finger. So I come down and I throw it out. I squeeze and I release the pressure as I get close to the finger. And then you can do now a more effleurage. You can go up and down, and it'll be very heating. It's a different stroke, and it's flushing the acids. We've created the environment for gas exchange. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to really work this here. Work it up and down, and use your breath. You can see how I'm going. And when you get into your hand again, use your thumb to really work the connective tissue of the left hand. You can squeeze the hand. And you can feel the difference between the right and left already. How there's a lightness. So now go a few times. Okay, cleaning the juju, the cooties. Wonderful. And now this hand has worked. Let's just shake that hand out and notice the difference. Wave up and down. Feel how the left arm is just floating up. It's ready to help clean the right side. So begin with your trapezius. Hold the right trapezius back to now what we call Petrissage. Petrissage is the kneading, like you're making the pizza dough or the bread dough. You're kneading it, squeezing and release. So explore Petrissage from the trapezius into the shoulder, the deltoid, into the bicep. You work up and down. I'll give you a minute to work with that kneading process before we hit some key points in our foot. And then we'll take a rest to sort of integrate what we've learned and integrate the sense of being cleaner by taking care of ourselves. You're exploring now. Remember, when you get to the fingers, you work strong, but you release the pressure at the fingernails. Clean each part, each part. Up and down. Go a little longer here. A few more moments. And then let's just flush it out 3 times. Get the juju, get the negative energy out. Okay, let's shake it out. Super. So we'll work now. We're going to work some key points here. You can bend your right knee, and you can see that, bend your left knee. If you put a blanket under the left leg, you can take your thumbs and then work. We're going to work from the gastroc, the calf, down into the soleus, and then into the foot with your thumbs. So a prop is really nice to have access to your left calf. Sitting on a prop if your back is tight. And take your thumbs, and we're going to go with Petrissage. Press and release. Press and release. The calf has 2 heads, a medial head, which is more on the inside, and a lateral head. And you can see with the thumbs, you can squeeze all the way down, and then here's the stroke. With the thumb and the index finger, you're up and down. This is the soleus, and this tendon, the Achilles tendon, hooks into the calcaneus, a bone, the heel bone. So you want to use the thumb and index to work up and down that area, and use your breath, remembering that your feet and legs take you places. So think about where you are going with this work. Think about where you're going at this time on the planet. We're developing the courage in this practice to go into the spiritual dimension and to live a life that is more compassionate and more team-oriented and more thinking about the greater good rather than our individual pursuits. We're trying to line up our individual pursuits with the greater good. So, yeah, you can now expose the foot. Expose the foot. And the first tool we're going to use, we're going to get the thumbs and work from the heel to the space in between the first toe and the big toe. So from the heel, I'm doing a stroke, boom with my thumbs all the way up. And you're going to do that about 6 to 8 times. Working right in that arch. And again, I have a flat foot, so my points are different. Some of you have a dancer's foot, a high arch. So play around here. We're going to find in this stroke points of feedback, which we're going to use the elbow to address those points that are talking to us. Okay, so you can see I have a prop under the foot, the left knee is bent to the side, and we're going to take the Olecranon process. Bend your right elbow. Guys, explore the elbow with your index knuckle. Find the pointiest point. It's very powerful bone. Yep, it's the sharp edge. Now, take your left hand. Remember that sharp edge. Cup the foot with your left hand. Cup the top of the foot. And you take the Olecranon process. Start under the big toe joint and just sink forward and breathe a few times into that point. And this stroke, you don't go fast. Yeah, Nandini has crossed the left leg over the right, and she is a thinker, not a stinker. As you can see, she is the thinker, not a stinker. Okay, I'm so funny, ha, not peculiar. Now, Nandini will now go very slow. No, much slower. It's a friction. This stroke is called deep friction. It's similar to Rolfing. It's connective tissue work. And you can't perceive the movement. It's as though she's sliding on the white fiber. She's going to come down slow. And for each of us, there's different points of feedback. When you feel a lot of electricity, hang out there. This is profound work. Keep your consciousness connected to how your body is talking to you. Work into the points that are offering you feedback. That tool, the Olecranon process, is very sharp. It's as sensitive as your thumb if you really tune in and just explore on that slow downward stroke the points you would like to hold and lean into literally a little more. Yep, and I'll give you some space to do your work here. I'm seeing that this could easily be a 3-hour workshop. We're a little over time here, guys, but it's such good work that I'm gonna keep going for a little longer. And if you have a business meeting, I'm very sorry that your Saturday is like that. It's very unfortunate. No pun intended. Just explore the space. You can't do any damage here because you're listening. This is auto-correcting. It's self-correcting work. You're not going to do any damage if you pay attention. And again, what this is doing is there's a lot of white fiber we call fascia in the foot. You're in the plantar fascia. And what you're doing is you're creating a warmth in that connective tissue so that the gas exchange occurs and you adjust the tissue to a new range, to a new possibility. It's not just rigid and stiff. You're making your tissue into a gel state. Super. You found a few good points, I see. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's come back to the hands and let's flush that area now. We've gone deep. Let's use the thumbs and the hands to flush up and down the arch of the foot. You'll find points again. You're free to explore this space again on your own, but I'm just showing you the tools. The thumbs are a very powerful tool for the foot massage, and a stronger tool would be your elbow. So let's carefully extend that leg and just give a flush to this one. If I pop, this muscle is the Vastus Medialis, and it's the biggest stabilizer to your knee. We're going to take the thumb and just flush up and down. And if you need the grease, get your coconut oil. And we're going to work around the knee all the way, medial to lateral, flushing around it. And then clean it. Super. And take your prop now and then extend the right leg and then bend that knee and use the prop so that you get into the calf. Work the medial head of the calf. And the grip is this one. It's your index and your thumb, and you're doing Petrissage. You're doing kneading. You're kneading the tissue up and down the back of the lower leg. Again, we're getting some major points. There's many more points we can do. If you guys enjoy this class, please give us some feedback and we can make it perhaps a recurring theme in our house here as we quarantine together. This is a creative collaboration of our expertise to sort of provide a sense of oxytocin bonding. The bonding hormone is being released now because we're being intimate. Humans need touch, and many of our friends, unfortunately, are quarantined alone. Some don't even have pets, so this is a starvation mode we're in now because we wither without contact. We are a social animal. We're a primate that thrives on connection. So this work is definitely becoming intimate with yourself. The kneading is beautiful. Okay, let's dive now into the foot. We began with the thumb, and so you can see I am here by the heel, and I'm going to work slowly up and down, and first a long stroke with the thumb. Okay, the thumb is your tool to go up and down, and as you go, make a mental note of the points that are offering feedback. I'll give you an example of what it feels like. When I slide up and down, there can be a point of deeper release and electricity, and the energy from that point shoots up or down. This is referred energy and release. It has to do with the nerve and the path of the nerve and how acids build up at certain points that need attention. And again, these would be called marma points in the Indian system, and they're called shiatsu points in the Japanese system. And the Chinese system has its own name, which I can't recall right now. So the masters of the past have left us a map to interpret our process of evolution and growth by doing this work in stages that evolve our consciousness. So Nandini has discovered some of these points, and I'm going to invite you and her to work again with the Olecranon process. So just let's find that first. Take the left index finger and see it's very, very pointy, and it's a beautiful tool for the point work. She's going to explore that space and hold the point. When she finds, she's in it heavy. So when you find one of these points, hold the Olecranon process into the point and breathe into that point, because it has something, it has a portion of the past that has to go. Remember, our feet and our legs are how we stand up. Are we standing up consciously like we mean to be there, or are we hiding? Okay, these residues over time are in the body. So she's releasing that energy of shame, which we have collectively. We're ashamed of over-consuming. We're ashamed when we take too much and our brother and sister in another country are starving and in a war zone. There's a culture of shame underneath, and it's why we overconsume or spend or overdrink the alcohol or anesthetize our mind with intoxicants. So I'm giving you a chance to now be exploratory. It is safe, guys, to get into this. You can't do any damage if you go slowly and you listen to your breath. Okay, a few more cycles of breath here with one trigger point. Pick a trigger point and breathe into it about 3 times. And let's finish with the flush, the effleurage. Come out slowly and use your thumbs to flush out the connective tissue of the foot by going up and down, up and down. Beautiful. And then we're going to go to that stabilizer of the knee. I'll show you how I find it. If I extend my leg, it's the muscle on the inside that sticks out. Okay, start to work around that area, up and down again, cleaning the stabilizer of the knee, and then you're invited to work the middle, and then the outside, up and down, up and down. And if you want to get theatrical about it, flush, flush, flush. Okay, and then wonderful. So now I'm just going to lay you down. We could go on with this practice. There will be future opportunities. I want you to lay down on your back for a few moments of guidance here. And I'd like to ask, would you like any props under your knees or neck?
Yes,
Where?
A bolster under my legs.
Okay.
And a blanket under my neck.
Got it. Okay, so please prop yourself up. This is the integration process. Let me get your hair. Lift up. So good? Good. Okay, so lay down on the earth with as many props under your body, and please disengage now from the breathing practice. And go ahead and sense the skeleton touching the earth. And feel how the body is held. It's in a safe place. And let's start from the feet to the crown, from the toe tips to the fingertips to the longest hair on our head. We're going to invite the energy of freedom to come to the muscular system and the bone system, so that the subtle energy, these points we've been working that are ordinarily congested, you can feel the subtle flow of energy under your body. So feel the heels touching the earth, your bones. Feel your hips touching the earth. Feel your shoulder blades touching the earth. Your elbows and your wrists are touching the earth. And feel your skull on Mother Earth. And get a sense of the weight of the body and just weight in general from your bones. And gather that sense that the body has weight. And then drop that idea down into the center of the earth, so there's no more weight, there's no density, just for a little while. There is lightness. And the outer peripheral body the muscles are totally relaxed. They're draping off the skeleton. It's etheric, it's light. And the mind is very light. There's no place to be. There's nothing to achieve. There's nothing to add. And along the front of the spine, under the body, perhaps, if the imagination can open up now, see if you can feel pulsation, electrical impulses, magnetism, or even subtle frequency Feel a lightness in your mind as you stretch beyond the third dimension. You are consciousness itself. You are awareness itself. Step into your true form beyond the body, beyond the mind. I'll allow you to rest here for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, so you can integrate the seen and the unseen. We have used our body to transcend the body, to understand we are spirit living in a body for just a little while. Connect the seen with the unseen. You are held, you are supported. Take rest as the one who formed all of the worlds simply for experience and liberation. Take rest. Now, yogis at home, start to breathe a little deeper into your form. Start to even animate your form with small motions at the toes and fingers. You may lengthen by pointing the feet, stretching the arms back if you wish. And then gently draw the knees to the sky, feet to the earth, and gently roll to the right side. Put your right arm under your right ear so your neck is supported. and then prop up. We're going to take a seat to experience the integration of all the parts of ourselves, the gift of the human body, which separates us from most animals, is this vertical spine. This spine is a gift. So take a comfortable seat, grab a pet if they're handy, and then make your body stable with any hand gesture you wish that's controlling the electricity you've unlocked. The subtle flow of energy is really, really accessible to you now. Keep your chin parallel to the earth. And I want you to imagine the vortexes of energy along the spine and to see where your consciousness is. See if you can feel the pulsating heart in the thoracic cavity. This is the time of the heart. As we strip away our materialism and our overspending, and we return to our frugal roots and our sense of community, our giving can come straight from the heart, which connects out into the arms and the palms of the hands, so we can give as we've given today from a place of purity and non-attachment. This is a collaboration straight from our hearts to yours. So feel your heart pulsating. And I want you to think for the next minute, think of someone who needs this self-love that you've unlocked. And from your psychic center through the Ethernet, from your third eye and heart, link through the ether to another being. It can be an animal being, a human being, any being that is having a tough time and needs this energy of love. Please send it out through the ether to someone else. We'll chant the syllable Om in a moment. And then join the hands near the heart and feel the symmetrical nature of your skeleton. And more importantly, you're tapped into the subtle flow of energy under the body. And this makes a powerful, healthy tension in the mind. The mind is stable. And feel the energy of bonding first with yourself. You've bonded with yourself. You've accepted yourself as you are today. You've accepted that you're on the spiritual path, which is a path that takes 2 steps forward and 1 back. So we all make mistakes and get feedback from our practice, and we must be compassionate with ourselves when our friends and the world and our practice gives feedback that is resourceful. So today was all about accepting feedback and self-love as we remain steady on the trajectory back to the source. Let's chant 1 Om to bring this entire workshop into a circle. Take a deep breath in. Tip the chin lightly towards the heart. We've made a compassionate mind and an intelligent heart with today's practice. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing the extra time. Thank you for the teamwork.
Thank you.
The theme work. Guys, I know you've enjoyed this workshop. Please comment on our social feeds. Nandini Yogini, Jai Sugrim. We are living together and we want to serve you. So if this has been good for you and it's something you would like us to go deeper into and explore more together, we're open to serving as needed.